It's the Gear Tester here, and in this video I'm going to compare and contrast the Kahr PM9 versus the M&P Smith & Wesson Shield versus the Glock 26. These are all 9mm, what I would classify as compact or subcompact handguns. The purpose of this video is to compare and contrast each of these pistols against one another in the context or for the purpose of using them as a concealed carry handgun. And I want to make that clear here at the beginning of this video. In order to get this comparison video going, I need to go over the size, the weight, and the capacity of each of these pistols so you, my viewers and subscribers, have a kind of mental image of each of these handguns. This is the Kahr PM9. It's a very nice, very reliable, very compact little handgun. It weighs in at 14 ounces, okay, and its thickness is 0.9 inches. So its overall is less than an inch thick, which makes it decent for inside the waistband carry. You can see that it is smaller than either the Smith & Wesson Shield or the Glock 26. I've had this pistol the longest out of the three. I've had it for the better part of 5 years, and I have shot hundreds and hundreds of rounds through it. It has proven to be very reliable as well as accurate. So 14 ounces and 0.9 inches thick. The M&P Shield is the pistol out of these threes that I have owned for the least amount of time. I've owned it for over a year. Okay, and this gun weighs in at 20 ounces. Okay, and it has an overall thickness of 0.95 inches. It is larger, obviously, okay, than the Kahr PM9. That should be clear. And it is a little bit different in terms of dimensions compared to the Glock 26. It is actually longer in terms of the handle or the height of the gun, and it is shorter in terms of the barrel length, which I find makes it harder to carry in the pocket, because when you get your hand in and try to pull it out of your pocket, so if we're carrying it with the trigger guard covered in a pocket, it's hard to get in and out because the grip is longer, okay? And then we have the Glock 26 here. It weighs in at 21.71 ounces, okay? That's all these weights are unloaded, and it is 1.18 inches thick. So it's the thickest and heaviest gun out of the group. In terms of capacity, let's talk about that. With the flush mag and the Kahr PM9, this gun holds 6 rounds. It has a 7-round magazine, okay? The M&P Shield has a flush magazine that holds 7 rounds, and it has an 8-round extended magazine. And the Glock 26 that you see here has a flush magazine, or the smallest magazine that it fits is a 10-rounder. You can back it up with a 12-rounder, as you see that I'm doing here, or you can run any of the other standard Glock magazines in it. So this is a Glock 17 mag, and it runs perfectly in there. I've never had any malfunctions with my Glocks running larger magazines in the smaller sized pistols. Okay, so able to back it up with quite a few bullets. In essence, turning it into a full-size pistol in terms of capacity. That's something to consider when you think about the Glock 26. So, how do I feel about these pistols? Well, the ones that I have used the most, and keep in mind I've also owned these for the longest period of time, are the Kahr PM9 and the Glock 26. I find that these guns fulfill my needs, okay, better than the M&P Shield. And it kind of has to do with the overall function and capacity and size of these guns, okay? I find the gun that I use the least is the M&P Shield, and it's the one I like the least, okay? And I think the M&P Shield is a very unique gun. It's the most cost-effective out of this group. The Kahr runs around $700. The Glock runs around $550, $600 before you put iron sights on it. And the Smith & Wesson Shield's running around $400 or so, $450, but it comes with iron sights. I've replaced the iron sights in this one, adding the excess big dot sights. But the reality is at the end of the day, I find that I leave my M&P Shield at home more often than not. And I take one of these other two pistols with me. And that's simply because the M&P Shield is this Goldilocks gun that is the reverse of Goldilocks, of the little bear's porridge, right? Not too hot, not too cold, just right. It's like the reverse of that. It's not too big and it's not too small, and so I leave it at home. In terms of comparing the M&P Shield to the Glock 26, I've got a lot more capacity. You know, people say, well, there's only 2 rounds difference between this 8-round mag and the 10-round mag. And that's true, but that's not counting in the fact that I can back up my 26 with a much higher capacity magazine, like my Glock 17 mag. So when it comes to capacity, the Glock 26 is going to win, okay, compared to the Shield. When it comes to just the overall function of the gun, I feel that the Glock is better made. Okay, there's a reason why it's more expensive than the M&P Shield. I also find that, yes, it is a little bit thicker, okay? It's true that it is thicker. But when I'm carrying inside the waistband, the 1/4 of an inch difference here between these 2 pistols doesn't matter at all. I don't notice it at all. Yeah, I mean, I can tell that when I'm wearing the Shield inside my waistband that it is thinner, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me. When it comes to shooting, you can see here, and concealing these guns. So let's talk about shooting first. In terms of shooting, I actually like the thicker grip of the Glock 26 because it is flatter, okay, which means that I have more of the meat of my hand dispersing the overall weight of the recoil of this gun, okay, and I find that I shoot it better because of that. You can see here, it's kind of domed, okay, the handle's domed, and it doesn't come to a very acute angle there, which means it's very comfortable to shoot. If you look at the Smith & Wesson Shield, you can see that the dome, okay, or the overall dimensions here, it comes to a more acute or tighter angle, which means that recoil is more felt in this gun because it's not being dispersed over the palm of your hand as widely. So I find that if I'm just going to shoot these guns, I'd rather shoot the 26. I'd rather carry the 26 because I carry more ammo in the gun, and really the thickness overall doesn't really matter to me at the end of the day. And even if we're just comparing in terms of capacity, the magazine here, the 10-round mag that I've added 2 to versus the 8, okay, you see there I have 12 rounds, okay, or 8 rounds. So capacity-wise, the Glock 26 just comes in, it's more shootable. I don't find it carrying, I can tell a difference. And the overall fit and finish of the Glock, because it costs more, is better. When it comes to the M&P Shield versus the Kahr PM9, if I was going to do that comparison here, I find that I carry the Kahr as a pocket pistol. I literally put it in a little trigger guard like this with a round in the chamber, and I slip it in my front pocket, and I'm able to be concealing a weapon very easily. When moving in groups of people are less likely to notice a gun printing because it's just in my front pants pocket, okay? So it's smaller, it's significantly lighter. You know, 14 ounces is a lot lighter, okay, than the 20 ounces of the M&P Shield. We're talking 6 ounces. That's quite a bit of weight. And in terms of size, I just find that I cannot comfortably carry the M&P Shield in my pocket. And I can do it every day, all the time, with the Kahr PM9. And so I personally, and the reason I'm doing this review is I personally would have you save money. I have bought a lot of self-defense style handguns over the years. I've bought the Glock 27, a Glock 36. I have had the full-sized M&P. I've had a number of different pistols, and I've shot a number of my friends' pistols over the years. And what I find is that I wish that I had not bought my M&P Shield. My needs were basically already covered by the Kahr PM9 and the Glock 26. Now, if you don't have either one of these and you're in a tight budget, okay, I think the M&P Shield represents a great value. But if you have the additional money or the ability to wait, I would encourage you to buy one of these other guns. Either the Kahr PM9 if pocket carry is going to fit your lifestyle better, or the Glock 26 if you're able to carry inside the waistband or even outside the waistband. The Glock 26 is just a superior handgun. When it comes to shooting, I felt recoil, all those things, I just like the Glock 26 better. It's not hard to shoot any of these guns. They're all shootable, they're all reliable, they're all excellent handguns. I do love the fact that the M&P Shield is made in the USA. I like that. Okay, so is the Kahr Arms, okay? I don't believe the Glock is really actually fully manufactured in the United States. I believe at least some of the components are made at least in Austria, as far as I know. But at the end of the day, I would tell you, if you have time and energy and money, I would spend it on something like the Carv PM9 or the Glock 26, and I would avoid the M&P Shield. It's a Goldilocks gun. It's a reverse Goldilocks gun. It's a gun that is just not right. It's not small enough to be a pocket pistol, okay? And if I'm going to carry it for the 20 ounces that it weighs and its overall size, especially when you put this 8-round mag in it, if you're going to go around carrying it like that, it's basically, in terms of grip distance, almost the same size as a Glock 19. Okay, and it's a couple ounces different from a Glock 19. So why not have a Glock 19? You understand where I'm going with this? Then you'd have 15 rounds of ammo instead of 8. So I just have to tell you, if I'm going to compare the Kahr PM9, the Smith & Wesson Shield, and the Glock 26, I would tell you avoid the Shield and go with one of these other two pistols because they will fill your needs better. Thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. If you found this video helpful or useful, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel for more quality video reviews on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear. This is the Gear Tester signing off.